is fully packed. So if we set up book table there, and if we're trying to explain there, lot of people they walk and then like we need to give way and like it's lot of disturbance. And people easily distract and they leave most of the times. That's happened with me a lot of times. How can we change this kind of situation? Do we need to arrange any other table outside or like, is there anything that we can do?
Location, location, location. So we have a table, Sunday feast, outside, where devotees are just standing in line for prasadam. They have nothing else to do. We have our book table there. So people are more at ease, they are comfortable. Anyway, they're waiting in line for prasadam. They don't mind listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam pitch. So if there's a better place, Prabhu, is there anything else that you want to do? Yeah, okay. Huh? Field study. Today, yeah, we can try and see today. Yeah. Prabhu, Sonam Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Just two quick questions. One is the spiel that you explained today for Srimad Bhagavatam, that will work for temple distribution as well, like Matsya
Yes.
project, preservation,
Yes.
etc.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing what I've observed is when people are lining up for prasadam here and we take books to them. So Indians are very smart. So what they do is if I'm pitching a book to somebody and whatever the girl says, the people in the following line will just repeat the same thing. So if this person says, no, I have, I'm not interested. The other person just observes and they will say the same thing. So they just observe that behavior and it replicates the whole line. How do we break that?
So you present to them when they're standing in the line?
I go all over the place. So if someone is coming at the table, I go at the table. If they're not at the table, if they're standing in the line, then I will go in that queue and I will talk to somebody. Then the person standing behind will observe. And then whatever this person says, if it's a rejection, if it's a no, it will get repeated. And it's a dominoes effect. So how do we break that?
Usually it's nice for them to come to the table. Then we can show the books and explain nicely. If you're doing it in the line, I mean, that's very common with Indians. If one person says no, everybody is going to say no. But if one person says yes, everybody will say yes. I will tell you one another different one. There is one time when I was explaining about Srimad Bhagavatam to one person. I explained the whole thing. That person didn't take. But I didn't notice there was another person, somebody else random. He was just there. He was standing. And this person left without taking a Bhagavatam set. That person says, whatever you explain to that person, I want that. So, you know, we don't know, we just present. We can't, again, this side is what we are looking at. We don't know the reactions sometimes, but it is a very common psychology that if one person says no, the other one says no, but sometimes they do say yes too. Yeah.
So what you are saying is for Srimad Bhagavatam presentation, it's better if we get them to the table and then with some peace we try to present.
And they can see the books also, right? Like from the distance, when you say there are 12 cantos, they really don't understand because they've never seen a set this big. So it's nice to give them a nice presentation. Or you can give them a coupon or something and say, you know, you get a special gift, come to a table, and then something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mataji.
I think we are...
No, I feel I would ideally for Srimad Bhagavatam, I think there should be a team of two people. If one is talking, the other person is observing, like she's talking about the queue. So the other person can distract or talk to the person behind and try and divert him. So that you break
I think you did a good job yesterday of bringing people to the table. So you should do the same thing, you know, bring them to the table and then... Tell them what she was saying. I mentioned that. I mentioned that already, that you did a very good job yesterday of bringing them from the door to the table. Yeah, maybe you can do the same thing from the line to the table. Okay, yeah. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I just want to mention that whatever we learned, these are all the tips and training of His Grace Vaisesika Prabhu and blessings of Nirakula Mataji. And thank you so much, Shamini Mataji, for organizing such a beautiful festival for us to share. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Malini Mataji, for that enlivening presentation and also for the live field demonstration yesterday. I'm sure Srimad Bhagavatam is soon going to break grounds in Toronto like never before. Many years ago, I just have to say something. Many years ago, we used to measure our scores in the perfection of yoga. That's how we used to count how many books we distributed. I remember one marathon, we had still 97 more books to distribute, and Anukul Seva and I, we took a bag full of POIs to the Dufferin Mall, and we distributed the last books there. And to the day where we now devotees are comfortable distributing the Bhagavad Gita. And we've tried doing the sets, you know, yourself and Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu came to Toronto and took many devotees out. And I feel now with this new training, strength in training, review of the training, we're going to, you know, hopefully one day we'll count Srimad Bhagavatam sets like that day we counted POI. Thank you very much. There's still more to come. We're going to soon break for lunch. After lunch, there's sessions on how to organize your monthly Sankirtan festival by Malini Mataji, and also how to organize your Shastradan drive by Meenakshi Mataji, who's going to be joining us soon. But before that, Vaisesika Prabhu, would you like to address the devotees?
It's amazing how Krishna consciousness expands through the realizations of the devotees. It's really an example of parampara. And Prabhupada did the set distribution, and now those, a couple generations down, have taken it as their heart and soul, and they're getting these deep realizations and revelations from Krishna. So your hard work and ecstatic endeavors to distribute Srimad Bhagavatams is bringing so many fruits. And watching the presentation today, I was appreciating how many vital points there are. And the reason they hit so strongly is because they're realized. These are what come from doing it. It's not theoretical, but you can hear from your voice because you've done it so many times, and Krishna has given you these mantras and realizations and gifts. And that's what comes of going out and doing it, staying in your column, doing the left column over and over and over again. Then you get solid realization, and it becomes second nature habit. But it's a Krishna habit, and that's the kind that takes us back home, back to Godhead. Kriyasu yas twach charanaravindayo. When you do this kind of hard work for Krishna, then he gives you special concession. So thank you very much, Malini, for giving your heart and soul to this book distribution. Hare Krishna. And thank you also for reminding us of Sri Krishna Purushottam Prabhu and the efforts he's put in over so many years. Greatest gratitude to both of you. A quick recount of some of, introduction of a few thoughts and new programs that we have coming up. Our revelation over several years, over a couple of decades, has been that when we're united, we're more effective. And we've found it in our team at ISV, which we see as a proving ground. It's a laboratory where we experiment with whatever we like, with the idea of exporting it as fast as possible to everybody else so we can spread it. We've over the last decade and a half, conceived of the whole world as one team. So we talk about a global team. And then every year, as many of you are aware, we have a global goal for sets of Bhagavatams, for Bhagavad Gitas, and so forth. The goal we've kept in mind over the last 5 years has been to reach 108,000 sets of Bhagavatams per year, or by 2026, to have that capacity. For Bhagavad Gitas, it's by 2026 to be at 5 million. As Mahabhagavat Prabhu has pointed out, that's a start. We'd like to get more and more confidence around the world. And to that end, we have also developed a program called GPS, which is the Global Portfolio System. And this involves consultancy. And we're finding devotees like Malini and others who are experienced in the field, who can consult others and help them on a regular basis to develop their teams, to develop the skills in the team members. And the reason it's called a portfolio is it's modeled after a mutual fund model. It's modeled after mutual funds, in which, as I'm sure everybody knows, there are several stocks or more, or a lot, in index funds in one portfolio. And you're investing in the aggregate in one portfolio. So we're introducing a program. It's in its beta form right now, and we've extended it to several places, where devotees who have the wherewithal to teach others can take between one and a few communities as parts of their portfolio. And then we'll measure how well they do by what percentage overall they get from the aggregate within their portfolio. And to that end, we're developing special training programs for those who would like to be consultants, as we're calling them, to reach out to other temples. It could be anywhere in the world. But I see this as the future of our book distribution in the world, is to be more united and to look at competition as competing against our overall global goal, not one center against another. And in areas where we're concerned with a strategic geographical area like the GTA, it's most helpful when we all think in terms of us being one unit and working together. How can we help each other as much as possible? Resource management, managerial accounting, making sure everybody has what they need and everybody's trained, rather than thinking we're competing against that one and this one. Don't worry, competition's always there. It's a natural part of being an individual unit of consciousness, if I may be so clinical. But we've proved definitively that when we're united and when we work together, we do much better. It's a fact. And so that is something that we're offering now, that those centers, or we call communities, not centers, we say community. Community is 2 or more people. And when there are communities anywhere that wish to have consultancy, somebody who has training and they would like to take advantage of that training, then we're doing an experiment that you can sign up, and all coordinated with a regional person who's overseeing overall book distribution. Those individual communities can enter into somebody's portfolio who can then help you advance in your project of book distribution. So my points are, we do better together. There are ways in which we can organize that so each one can teach one. And the incentive will be more on how we help one another advance as a team. Any thoughts, comments? Ma Bhagavata Prabhu.
Test. No, it's not. If somehow or the other this book distribution, like yesterday, I think after a very long time, I saw like 60, 70 book distributors out on the streets of Toronto. I think the last time this happened was when we went to Niagara Falls in a bunch of buses, and then we got busted there, and fun times. But just if we can get this whole book distribution as the forefront of our communities somehow or the other, and have like thousands of book distributors everywhere, because each person might only be able to do a tiny, tiny little bit, and bring that in to the mainstream somehow. It's somehow slipped to the, those guys do the book distribution. I used to think like that too many years ago. So I don't know how to bring it back into the forefront.
We're doing it right now. Because any project one's involved in is called the Jericho principle. You have to renew, refresh, and remind people every 30 days. And even the worthiest of causes, when not refreshed on a regular basis, can either veer in one direction or another by a degree and end up somewhere else, or they can fade away. So, fearing the fade, we're holding this regional meeting. We're offering consultancy to those who would like to keep it going. And I dare say that there is a lot that one can avail of oneself to take advantage of this. There's a knowledge base, there's tools, and those who are taking advantage of them are doing well. I felt some special surge here this weekend, and just as a reminder, a lot doing a little bit is most effective, because everyone's busy and we all have various interests. And if you do a tiny little bit, but you work together and invite the masses to come out by having a fun environment in which everyone feels valued, and everybody's contribution, whether it's on the front lines or whether it's cooking or driving or just advocating, it all goes towards the team, all for one and one for all. So I believe we're on the verge of a reemergence, even though I must say the trajectory overall here has been upward over many years, thanks to the very hard work of Shamahini Radha Mohan Prabhu. We thank you very much. And you've also been a stalwart for book distribution and every other kind of preaching for decades, influencing people's lives, and it's one at a time, as you've been doing. So many people I meet have been deeply moved by your patience and your counseling and so forth. So we're deeply grateful to you. Hare Krishna. And that brings me to my last point.
Can I ask one more question?
Okay, I'll answer it in 30 seconds or less.
In terms of all the communication that goes out, etc., I feel extremely overwhelmed by the amount, the volume of information that flows in through these WhatsApp groups and things like that. So, for example, like immediately after the Sankirtan outing yesterday, when I got 100 messages in less than an hour, I was completely overwhelmed by that. My phone was overwhelmed by that too, and I exited the group, and I've exited the local group as well. I was just wondering how we can communicate in such a way that, at a certain point I loved that kind of thing, but now it's just such a deluge that there's a 300 Haribols for one Bhagavad Gita, for example. It's really difficult to focus on what I'm supposed to do. It's very noisy, cluttered, and I cannot function. So I just want to get your sense on how one can stay in touch, but not be overwhelmed by all this.
How to stay in touch and not be overwhelmed? Everyone can adjust accordingly. It's all there, but just pick and choose what most inspires you and what keeps you in touch the most, and what's helpful for you, so you can customize the way that you consume information. I personally live for those things. I love it when I'm on the road for 2 days and I check in with our ISV Sankirtan groups, and there are several of them, and I look and say, how did it get 238 messages? Something good must be happening. And I just start, that kind of scrolling I don't mind. I love having that to scroll, that I have 238 and I can see a history. Oh, they're here, they're there, and I actually can look in on the community and see how they're doing. But on the other hand, I mean, you're very busy. You've got a lot going on, and you know, as far as profession and everything else. So you may consume it in a different way, but you can still take joy in the fact that there's volume, because that means we have life. As Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, those who have life, they can preach. And it's a fact that when you preach, you get life. There's nothing as edifying as going out for Sankirtan. So this is heartfelt. Look how we're all sitting here together and just taking in all this realized advice that we're getting. And we've all been out together yesterday. It's as if there was, well, I hate to use military terms, but Prabhupada used to use it, a bomb. He talked about books as bombs, but all of us together, the effect we had on Toronto yesterday is inestimable. And the waves of that will carry on. So let's just keep doing it and advocate for it and organize for it, follow the 4 laws of book distribution, and everything will be fine. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Mohan, Shri Shri Radha Kirchor Gopinath, Jagannath Baladev Subhaja, and Gaurnitai to the 3rd power. If you so desire, please, and Radha Krishna. If you so desire, please empower our team to remember, as Vishaka said, the mood of Srila Prabhupada, and remember that this was his heartfelt desire to see transcendental literatures distributed as per his spiritual master's instruction. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer, in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna. And now we have a final word from our sponsor. A few words from our sponsors.
Hare Krishna. So as Maharaj mentioned, the Global Portfolio Sankirtan is a global initiative, so especially for communities, community leaders who are here today with an aim to start or enhance your Sankirtan offerings to Srila Prabhupada. You can scan this QR code and get a Sankirtan consultant. These Sankirtan consultants are trained by methods and models, mood that Vaisesika Prabhu has developed. They're personally coached and equipped, fully equipped to support you on a one-on-one basis. So please scan this. We'll also send this out on the group. For devotees who may feel like, you know, I don't represent a yatra, I'm not a Sankirtan leader, I am just a book distributor, or I'm an aspiring book distributor at my community. If you felt inspired this weekend, we want to carry forward this inspiration in our heart. So we will have a follow-up session online with Malini Mataji, where you can bring back your observations, your questions, so that we can keep growing. This inspiration, the training, the experience from this weekend should not be a memory. It should be something that we live, relive, and share, so we can actually keep growing further. So please, let's take it forward. We're going to do a group picture after we finish today. So just after we finish now this session. Last final announcement for the merch as well. We're going to close the table. This table won't be available for the Sunday feast. So if you've been putting off getting merch for yourself, please do so now. Ranchor Prabhu has an announcement to make as well, and then I'll come back. Yes, thank you.
Sorry. Hopefully everyone's ears are okay. And the mic is fine too. Just this is an announcement just for those who are Sankirtan leaders that have taken some sort of responsibility for their yatra. A few messages have been put out in the Sankirtan leaders group regarding reports for the temple president's meeting. A lot of the devotees who have taken responsibility for book distribution or organizing it know that when the general leadership of the community understands why, what's most useful in advocating and encouraging and supporting book distribution, the weight off of the Sankirtan leaders' shoulders diminishes so much. Everyone has a better experience when the leaders and the top dogs understand the best practices for expanding book distribution and how they can better help your team. So we're requesting 1 or 2 minutes from all those leaders who've seen the messages. You can send it to me. We're just trying to make another announcement about it. Really, I know it's the worst time of the year to get this. It's between every single major festival. If we can try to get these by Radha Ashtami, we can have a very comprehensive presentation to make to the temple presidents on the meeting on the September 5th. 13 days from today. So if we can get everything, all the responses from all the Sankirtan leaders in Canada by the end of this week, we can do very comprehensive analysis and provide good insights for the leaders. Please,
I second
please.
that. It's extremely important for growth to be able to measure. And I've seen the work that Ranchor is doing. We see it regularly, and it's inspirational, what he does with statistics. And as all of you know, in order to do statistical analysis, you have to have some data. So please give data. Give your opinions. It won't take long, but the more we get complete data from everybody, the more we can analyze and the more we can serve not only you, but the entire North American continent.
I'm also willing to just spend some time now itself so we don't have to postpone, as it says, the bee and the flower. So let's do things now. But if you want to just flag me down right after we break for lunch, I can just take a few minutes to, just gather whatever insights you have and whatever thoughts you have about book distribution in your communities so that we can support you all better.
Final announcement for our family business. I know on Friday there were some devotees who wanted to get the book signed by Vaisesika Prabhu. So today, this is your opportunity. Please take the family business. The book expands further on many of the principles that we heard this weekend, and it's your reference book to keep, to relish, reread, and relive the moments from this meeting as well. I think with that, we're done all the announcements. I just want to thank Vaisesika Prabhu and Mother Nirakula for taking their precious time, for coming to Toronto, and for extending themselves to all of us, and for sharing, for not giving up. You know, we still make the same mistakes on the street or with organization, but thank you so much for coming. When we were thinking about that, when we were requesting, begging for consideration to come to Toronto, Vaisesika Prabhu had expressed this desire that he would like to spend time doing something that would benefit many more devotees. And from that, there was this desire to offer a humble gathering where we can all learn and share, take back and share with more people. So we're just so grateful that Toronto stays on your radar and that we all had this opportunity to hear from you. Thank you very much. It's Grace Vaisesika Prabhu and Mother Nirakula. Thank you to Malini Devidasi. Thank you so much for coming. I know I just asked her, you know, would you like to come to Toronto? And she's like, sure, let's do it. And I didn't even tell her what the dates were. Thank you to the organizing team, Anukul Seva, Jishnu, Radha Mohan Prabhu, Vishakha, and Punya Shavana, and to all the cooks in the kitchen who've been working very hard over the last few days to serve all the devotees. And thank you to the Bhakti Academy for helping us with the logistics. Everybody here, Vishakha is the main organizer for logistics, but I'm not going to name people. But thank you very much to all the devotees from the Bhakti Academy and Venkatesh Prabhu for setting up, taking care of all the logistics. Thank you very much. The prasadam will be served soon. Before that, we're going to take a quick group picture with your permission, Maharaj.
No photo.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Anukul, so you're going to get us organized? Thank you. Yeah, we're going to...
see. Oh, that's what those are for. I've seen those in my bag. I didn't know what they were for. Okay. Yeah, it came with the mics. You can put it on a pose too. You get it inside out. Yeah. Okay. Worth the price of coming to Toronto. That was worth the price of coming to Toronto.
All right, devotees, this is not an easy thing to do as well. Is organizing people to stand. So Mataji's on one side and Prabhu's on this side. Taller people at the back, shorter people in the front. Maharaj, I think you can sit, Maharaj. Yeah, people can sit as well. Yeah, we can remove that table as well. I will, yes. I'll put a chair now. Chair?
I don't know, chair or
Mother, would you like me put a chair?
We need to squeeze together as well and not cover each other's faces. So it's tricky, but we can do it.